Got a story passed along to me from Jalopnik, one of the sites I used to write for in the days gone by. Aaron Marquise wrote the story, and I apologize, Aaron, I might be mispronouncing your name. I've got a 50-50 chance on that. Although I guess I pronounced it one way and the other. I could have gotten it wrong twice. And apologize again. Managing editor she is. Colorado passed a dealership bill designed entirely for Tesla and Rivian. The Colorado Senate Friday approved a bill 22-12 that will allow electric vehicle manufacturers such as Tesla and Rivian to sell their products straight to consumers, bypassing the dealerships and the traditional dealership system. There is a little hook here. The bill only allows companies that sell just EVs and has no prior traditional system of dealerships already in place to do so. So right about now, the car companies that were using dealerships are starting to think, wait a second, maybe we shouldn't have tried to enforce those franchise laws as strenuously as we did, because as this creeps more and more this way, eventually there's going to be manufacturers selling certain kind of cars directly to consumers, and they're going to be stuck with a franchise. So Rivian lobbied in favor of this law in the weeks leading up to the vote, according to the Automotive News. The bill was delayed 2 times, but came up for a final vote after the addition of an amendment keeping traditional non-EV manufacturers from the direct marketplace. This is what government does. It plays favorites, and the favorites happen to be whoever is bribing them, contributing money to campaigns. The amendment was not enough for Tim Jackson, who is the spokesperson for the Colorado Auto Dealers Association. Of course he is. That startup Rivian is lobbying to open up Colorado's dealer franchise law as it prepares to start production of electric pickups and SUVs this year. Lawmakers in the state could vote very quickly on a controversial bill that would allow any automaker, including those with existing franchise dealerships, to sell their EVs directly to consumers. An amendment added to the bill Friday, designed to prevent traditional automakers from opening up next door to their franchise dealers, did little to solve the concerns that retailers had about what they say are the potential risks should this bill become law. We're not enamored with the amendment, said Tim Jackson, president of the Colorado Automobile Dealers Association. You can't put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. Yeah, but it's a pig with lipstick, which is cool. The bill will allow the Teslas and Rivians of the world to operate in a sales model that is better suited to their approach of treating their cars more like high-end electronics, but prevent traditional automakers from doing the same. Rivian expects to already be able to sell directly in Arizona. And I mentioned before, and I did a video, I'll put a link below, about the settlement in Michigan. It didn't completely fix the problem with Tesla wanting to be able to sell cars directly to consumers, but it got close, and it was a big step in the right direction. That was regarding a 2014 law which barred the practice in Michigan. And so that paves the way for Rivian to dive into direct-to-consumer sales in its home state. Naturally, of course, General Motors was in favor of Michigan's 2014 law, saying, back when the law was signed, General Motors applauds Governor Snyder's signing of HB 5606. This will provide stability and support for our dealers who are focused on delivering a world-class sales and service experience for our customers. Further, it will ensure we compete under the same rules in the marketplace as other automobile manufacturers. And of course, what they're really saying is, we're scared like the dickens of these new startups such as Tesla, who are going to come in and eat our lunch, as they say. And you can call it lipstick on a pig or anything you want. I see Teslas on the road these days. I see Teslas. It's not every day in America that we're told that there's a wrong way to engage in capitalism. And again, this is the woman from Jalopnik writing. This kind of regulation-induced stagnation of business practices do the exact opposite of fostering a positive consumer experience. There's a not unearned stereotype that car dealers are skeevy characters who have made buying a car a complex, daunting, and financially perilous process. It's so tough, we have a weekly article dedicated to helping people navigate the murky waters. And now, she uses the word skeevy and spells it S-K-E-V-Y. I would have always thought it had an I in there. But it's a word I've never used in writing. I've only used it in speech. So I don't know if skeevy has a correct spelling. I will go, you know something? I've got Oxford English dictionaries. I will check to see if there is, in fact, a skeevy in here. SK. First, we'll attempt to find the version. H-I-J-K. Skate. Skedaddle. Oh, that's a good word. Skeen. I believe that's a yarn reference. Skeletonize. Skeen, S-K-E-N-E. Sketch. Skew. We're getting close. And she spelled it how? S-K-E-V-Y. S-K-E-W. Hold on. I'm getting caught up here by looking at all the cool words. It's like a word collection that I can just enjoy from time to time. Skeven. A steward of a guild. Skevenage. A district under the jurisdiction of a local magistrate. And then skew. S-H-A-K-S-Q. S-Skev. S-K-E-V. So skevy is not in here. S-K-E-V-Y. So the question is S-K-I-V a possibility? And it might be that these are both just words that are too far out of the norm. Skivvy, and I had a feeling this was going to occur. Skivvy is North American slang for undershirt or a vest or your underclothing, your skivvies, okay? Or a high-necked, lightweight pullover or jumper, which is more of an Australian thing. And there it jumps straight into SKL. So skivvy, S-K-I-V. Let's see what else we got in here. S-K-I-V, skiver. One who avoids work. That's a noun, of course. Skiver, a thin kind of dressed leather split from the grain side of a sheepskin and tanned. No. There is one here, skive, an act of shirking. Then we also have another skive. So it looks like skeevy is not a word that's been recognized in either spelling. The one she used, the one I thought we should use, at least not by the Oxford English Dictionary. So I will consult my other sources because I have more. Oh, I've got more. While Teslas are certainly more common now than when anti-Tesla legislation first started hitting the books in America, they are still kind of considered specialty vehicles. Tesla sold 367,000 vehicles in 2019, while GM sold 2.8 million. So you understand it's still a very, very small number of cars. Dealerships just might not make sense for an automaker that is mostly made to order or a low volume manufacturer. We never really know unless companies are allowed to experiment. And again, this is Aaron speaking here by way of writing. The rush to legislate back then seemed like an insecurity on auto dealers' part. Thank you, Captain Obvious, but I know she's making the point, but it's so painfully obvious that the car companies are freaking out, and so they decided to just stop Tesla from doing what they would love to do. And if you don't think car companies are bothered by the sales techniques of the dealerships, you ain't thinking much. It's almost like they knew the business model was a pain in consumers' rear ends and making cars needlessly expensive, and they wanted to prevent any alternative from surfacing. Weird, again, she says. So again, Colorado passed a dealership bill designed entirely for Tesla and Rivian. Like I said, Michigan passed a law or a ruling that partially fixed the problem with keeping Tesla out of the state. But eventually there will come a time where you'll be able to buy a Tesla anytime you want, or a Rivian, or a Chevrolet. And how the manufacturers choose to sell those, that should be up to the manufacturer. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But the idea that one manufacturer can keep another manufacturer out of the state because this manufacturer doesn't want to get involved in this archaic dealership system, that's the problem. That's the problem. Like I said, that problem will be resolved. It's a question of just how soon and how painful it will be. Questions, comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. living on a lighted stage, approaches the unreal for those who think and feel.